have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome the world. But something happens between verse 4 and 5. You know, verse 4, my enemy will say, I have overcome him. My foes will rejoice when I fall. You know, I see Rhonda coming into town, taking the kids, me paying child support, and her using money to have a party. You know, and it's just, but verse 5 says, but I will trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord, for he has been good to me. What happened between verse 4 and verse 5? I don't know that he got out of the mountain. I don't know that the Philistines all of a sudden disappeared. Right? This was a defining moment for him. And I think part of that defining moment, as it was with me in that church Wednesday night, goes back to seeing something and reflecting on something. One, it's God's Word. I've read this over the years. I know what it says. I know what God says about me. And the very last thing I think David said before he left the stage was, we are who God says we are. And I started to take that in mind. See, part of this verse says here, trust in his unfailing love. I know. I have watched God care for me and love me, especially since I made this confession. For the first time in my life, I feel like I have felt God love me like never before, that I thought wasn't even possible. But the last line, for he has been good to me. You know, I can look back on my life and I can see the things that God has done in my life. I can see the things that he's carried me through. You know, there is a history of victory in my life. So in taking that, and there was a verse in a song that was sung that says, we're not guilty anymore. I said, you know what? I'm not guilty anymore. I don't have to have the weight of this condemnation on me. Even what Rhonda says to me, it doesn't make it true. But look what it affected my life. But there's a defining moment for David here. He had seen things from a different perspective. I heard Joe pray it this morning, to see things from a different perspective. And that's what David saw. And for me, that's what I saw. And let me tell you about it. See, I am free from all those things. Okay? And the part that happened to me was this. I realized that even if Rhonda comes back, even if she takes me to court, she gets custody of these kids, even if I have to pay child support, God is enough. God is going to take care of me. Now, I didn't stop at, all right, I know God's going to take care of this. I think we have a wrong idea, and I have made this mistake in the past, when I assume that there's something I want and it's good, that God's going to do that thing. But that's not what it is. See, God is sovereign. So I had to take a step beyond that. I had to say, God, even if it doesn't come out the way I want it, but it comes out the way Rhonda wants it, I'm going to trust in you. I am going to trust in you. And from that moment, right there, I was able to release all that anxiety. See, God says, come close to me, and I will come close to you. And in that moment is where I drew close to God. And that was where I was able to release all this. And I was able to get up and like, bring it on. You know, it didn't change what Rhonda was going to do. It didn't change the outcome of anything. What happened was my perspective was seeing things outside of myself. I saw God, that he was a God who was going to provide for me, okay? It wasn't about him fixing the situation. It was about me surrendering to him and me doing what I know was right in believing in him. So what about you guys? Where do you see you guys? Can I see those questions? Thank you. Here's a definition. A defining moment is a moment in our lives when we come face to face with a truth. One that maybe we didn't know, that we have forgotten about, or that got distorted along the way. And as a result of that truth, the lives have been transformed, our perspectives are transformed, and our views are forever changed. You know, there's something in here that I was able to hold on to in Romans. And it says, "For I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, neither height nor depth, nor anything in all creation will be able to separate me from the love of Christ." When David fought the Philistine giant, David and Goliath, he said, "It is not by sword or spear that God saves. It is His battle." He was saying it's not the things that we do for God, it's what God does for us. These battles are His. So question 1. Look back at your own life and find a defining moment. Let me tell you the rest of the story then. I haven't heard from Rhonda in 2 weeks. I haven't had another phone call, not another text. Now, I don't know if she's storing something up, but you know what? I haven't dealt with her since. Since I released that to God, I have not heard from her yet. I don't know what her intention is. That doesn't mean I'm in the clear, but I know by me getting to that level, that defining moment, and saying, "God, even if you're still my God," it's like it releases His power to work in our lives. And that's where I'm standing right now. Look back on your life in a defining moment, other than your salvation experience. A moment in time where you made a decision that has dramatically affected and altered your life and possibly the lives of others around you. You may be still suffering from the consequences of the decision you made in that defining moment. What was the defining moment? What were the consequences of your response? 2, in light of God's truth and what you know about God, how would you respond differently today if confronted with the same decision? And 3, if a wise man learns from his past mistakes, how can you take what you have learned and apply it to your life now? All right. And guys, as you know, this is country cooking, but we still need to leave the stuff out in the parking lot. Okay? Take off the game face. Let's be real. Let's open up. Share what are defining moments. 1, 2, 3, go.